Hey guys, so I'm playing around with the sound, how to get the best sound here, and I apologize. I already know that the lighting is not the best. This is early morning before the daycare kids get here, so I wanted to go ahead and get this video done. Um, trial and error, trial and error. Bear with me while I figure things out and get the best lighting, sound, etc., etc., etc. I have a ring light that I may bring in here for this. It's in my music room. Anyway, so this would be week 3 of. I don't want to be too loud either. So this would be week 3 of the 40 weeks of being free from the narcissist. And this is probably the single most effective and important step that you can take to regaining your sense of self, to taking back your power, to really begin that healing, and that is no contact. This is where you establish boundaries. Now, one of the things I hear a lot is, but what about the kids? And I've mentioned this in previous videos. If you have children with the narcissist, establish one mode of contact. Whether that's a phone number that is strictly for that purpose only, whether that's an email that you create and they're the only ones you give that email to, and they get one way to contact you, and even then the subject matter can only be about the children. If they begin to talk to you about anything else, you shut it down. This is extremely important to your mental well-being, to your becoming strong again, to healing. And like I said, it is probably the single most effective thing that you can do. It's probably the hardest also, because you are literally addicted to them because of the love bombing, the trauma bonding. So there is an actual physical thing that takes place in your brain and in your body that is craving their attention. And you have, just like withdrawing from any drug, you have to withdraw from it. And you do go through withdrawal symptoms when you first start to go no contact. You're going to feel a sense of you gotta, like, you want to talk to them, you want to see them so badly, because your brain is wanting that hit of oxytocin from the trauma bonding. So breaking free of them is very much like withdrawal symptoms from a drug. And it's hard. I'll tell you, I failed at it for a good number of times. I failed at it. And I was so down on myself about it. I was so disappointed in myself for it. And this is when I was first learning about narcissism. But what I did also learn was that the longer I went, the clearer my head got. That fog started to lift, and the hold that they had on me started to lessen. It started to release. I started to see the relationship for what it really was. And that part becomes hard as well, because you start to see it clearly, and the make-believe fairy tale world that they had you in, you start to see that for what it really was. You start to see the truth. Everything from the very beginning up to the point of whether they discarded you or you broke free from them. You start to see, yeah, you're honest with yourself about it all. And that part is difficult too. So you go through the withdrawals from them, and then you have to face the reality of what really occurred. And when you do that, that part may cause you thinking, what's wrong with me? You know, how did I fall for this? How did I not see the truth? You know, and you might start to criticize yourself. Don't do that. That's where step 1 comes in, where you forgive yourself, because they are so good. They're so practiced at the manipulation. Let me tell you something. The narcissist, in the beginning, when they're love bombing you, they are nothing more than a reflection of you. All of the wonderful qualities that you think you see in them, they're mirroring you, because they're trying to become the perfect person for you. So it's you that you fell in love with, truly. And you'll start to see that, because they have no personality of their own. They simply mirror and mimic who they are trying to manipulate. They like what you like. You have so many things in common. They actually listen to you, probably better than anyone else has, because they're learning you, they're studying you. They want to know everything about you so that they can mirror you, so that they can become that person in the beginning that you've always wanted. Your perfect Prince Charming, or, you know, Princess Charming, you know, whatever. And then once they are convinced that they have you, then that's when the devaluing, the abuse begins, and they'll have you on this back and forth, you know, where they'll start giving you breadcrumbs of love, you know, and enough to make you confused and question what's going on in the relationship, but you start to know something is wrong. But I don't want to get off topic, because it's a whole rabbit hole. It's just a whole thing. So here in week 3 of this series, begin the no contact. It won't be easy. It won't be. You're probably going to become angry too at some point, and you're going to feel like you have things you just have to say to them. Don't, because they don't care. And very likely they may not respond. I know for me, I failed at no contact so many times in the beginning. And then just when I was getting over that and doing better with no contact, that's when he sent a message. He left a voicemail. And the last I remember looking at my phone, and there were 2 voicemails from him. And it took me a few days. I fought listening to it because the last thing I wanted was to hear his voice. I knew that would mess me up. And sure enough, when I listened to it, it messed me up. I had to start all over with no contact, but that's okay. If you mess up, just start again with day 1. Again, like with any addiction, if you fail, if you fall, and you're gonna fall, start again with day 1 and go from there, and eventually you'll make it to day 2, day 3, day 4. Next thing you know, you've gone a week. Next thing you know, it's been 2 weeks. And then I stopped counting after a couple of months. I stopped counting the days because I got busy with my daycare, and then before I knew it, months had gone by, and now it's been 6 years. So the no contact thing is going to be your best friend when it comes to healing from this. I promise you that. But I also promise you that it's the hardest part. So set your boundaries and stick to them. God bless.